2018 was the lowest inventory that we had ever seen at that time. Late summer 2018, inventory lifted. We went into 19. We actually had more inventory of homes for sale. Not a high amount, but a higher amount. And we all thought, oh, 18 was the bottom. We'll never see inventory that low again. Well, none of us thought that we would get a worldwide pandemic that would keep home sellers from listing their homes. But that has happened, and now we have to deal with it. Because of that, we're dealing with something that sellers really fear, which is, well, I don't want to list until I know where I'm going. Completely reasonable and logical thought, right? Totally understandable. And for some sellers, they shouldn't. They should wait, some. But for many, they shouldn't wait. They should, at a minimum, talk to a realtor. Okay, every seller should, at a minimum, talk to a realtor and evaluate what their options are, because there is a much larger possibility of finding what you want if you're looking for a first-time buyer type home, or maybe, like, let's say you're downsizing, right? And you live in a big colonial with 4 bedrooms and you want to downsize to a ranch. Well, there's a lot of ranches. You're just not able to see them all because there's a lack of listings. But when you get in with the right realtors and the right real estate company, they should and will expose you to properties before they are ever listed, okay? So one of the issues is with the way you're looking for homes. The other issue is you're putting yourself in a catch-22 position. If you wait until you find what you want and your home's not even listed, unless you're someone that can buy without selling. There are people out there that have incomes and savings that they can do that. But the vast majority of the public cannot buy without selling. They can't afford 2 mortgages. Mortgage companies won't give them mortgages without that. So, you got to have this in mind, and you have to understand that sometimes you have to take one step before you can take the other step. And that doesn't mean that you actually have to sell your home, but you have to take some steps in that direction. Talk to a realtor, get their advice, discuss with them how you're going to find a home. If they're a good realtor and they are working hard for you, which they ought to be, then they're looking for properties for you that match your criteria. Hopefully they have a system like we do here at Lamacchia Realty that matches buyers and sellers. See, we produce thousands and thousands of leads, okay? All the time, every month. Literally every month we produce thousands of leads as a company every single month. Thousands of buyers and sellers combined, okay? They go into our system. We get the criteria of, 3-bedroom, 1-bath in Woburn looking to sell. We get a buyer looking for a 3-bedroom, 1-bath in Woburn. There creates a match. The system notifies the agents. The agents talk to their clients about it. Hey, I just found out about something in my company. I believe it's in the such and such neighborhood. If you're interested, I'll get exact information. They go back, they get the exact info when the seller gives permission, and they go and talk to them about it. The point I'm getting at is you will never know about things that aren't listed if you keep looking on Zillow, on Trulia, on Realtor.com. You will find out about things that sometimes will never be listed. As an example, Zillow. Zillow loves to tout their pre-foreclosure sales, okay? In fact, we have a blog on our website, and I'm going to ask our marketing guru, Lindsay, to please find that blog that talks about how Zillow pre-foreclosure sales are not actually for sale and likely never will be for sale, and we will post it in the comments. We will also include a link in the video when we send this video out to all our sellers and buyers. We'll include that blog in there, and there's a mini video in there of me discussing that. So oftentimes what buyers do is they go on Zillow, they think they find the right home. They say, oh, I'm interested in that home. That's what I want. And then they find out it's not available. My friends, you're wasting your time. When you are even a somewhat semi-serious buyer, you need to consult with a realtor. Realtors have access to more homes than you do. I have news for you. And then when you get on a system like ours, you will get the same access. Thank you, Cole. You will get the same access as our realtors, and they'll help you find things. There are also many other protections that you can put into place to make sure that you don't end up homeless. And that's part of what I want to discuss with you. One of the things that you can do, and by the way, I'm going to show you all the resources on our website so you can see additional information on everything I'm talking to from LamacchiaRealty.com, or better yet, log on to wanttobesellers.com. That's wanttobesellers.com. You guys recognize my TV voice right there? Okay, so wannabesellers.com, if you go on that, and what I'm going to do now is I am going to jump back to our website, and I'm going to bring you to that part of the site. And the site looks a little funny now because I'm zoomed in, but I'm going to go to selling, right down to wannabe sellers, and this is where it lands you. And it talks about all kinds of things. It gives an overview into the discussion that I'm having with you right now. It talks to you about selling without listing. It talks to you about being worried about moving twice. It talks about listing does not mean you have to move out and not finding the home you want. Okay, so let's take this item by item, and then you can go watch these for much more detail. Listing does not mean you have to move out. Every home seller in the country I'm talking to right now, I want to make sure to remind you that if you pick the phone up and you call a realtor, when they pick their phone up, your home doesn't just magically go up for sale. When you invite them to your home and they come over and they discuss buying and selling with you, or maybe they jump on a Zoom with you, that does not magically just put your home on the market. Your home doesn't actually get listed until you are ready for it and you give permission. And when you do list your home, you don't have to just move out if a buyer says to. You don't have to just accept an offer the moment a buyer says to. Way too many sellers are scared of that kind of thing, and you need not to be. You are not going to ever move if you don't take some steps. So that's part of what that video talks about. Listing your home for sale does not mean moving out, okay? Worried about moving twice. Well, listen, if you have a realtor that knows what they're doing, okay, like the realtors here at Lamacchia Realty, and they properly disclose things, and they discuss it with buyers who have agents who have buyers, and they maybe go as far as putting in MLS that the sale is subject to seller finding suitable housing. Sale is subject to 60 days for seller to find suitable housing. I don't know. A long closing date. Seller will not close before September 1st. Whatever it may be, you can put those disclosures in the MLS to protect yourself, to give you comfort that you don't end up moving twice. That's what this talks about. We also have many, many cases right here, sell without listing, and I don't want to exaggerate it. It's not 50%, but about 10% of the homes that we sell at our company, because of our links system, we have a system called Lamacchia Links. Because of that links system, about 10% of our sales are done off market, okay? You could be one of those 10%. The sellers that usually end up being in that 10% are the folks that sign on with our realtors ahead of wanting to list. They tell our realtors what they're looking for. Our realtors put their information into the Lamacchia Link system. And at some point in 3 weeks, 5 weeks, 2 months, there's a match. And when there's a match, that's when the conversations start. Many sellers, especially now, are very attracted to the idea of selling without listing and not having to have strangers come in their home, particularly in our new COVID-19 environment. So the point that I'm trying to get across to all of you sellers or wannabe sellers or sellers that are also buyers, many of which are clients of ours, is you can probably make more progress than you're making. But you have to be a little bit you need to put some trust in your realtor. You need to talk to your realtor about it in our company and tell them specifically what you're looking for and let them keep their antennas up. Let them put your criteria in our system so that our system is looking for properties that match your criteria. Okay, and there are other real estate companies, other realtors who work to communicate. Ours is the only one that I know of that actually has an internal linking system that is constantly, every millisecond of the day, running matches. See, we buy Realtor.com leads every day of the week. We buy Facebook leads. We produce leads from television. As these leads are coming in, there's a criteria going in with it. On the seller side, our inside sales team, when they're talking to a seller and the seller is telling them, I think I want to sell, but I don't want to book yet. I wanted to get some information on your company. We're getting their information, not putting any confidential information in the system, but we're getting that match, that criteria of their home into our system, okay? Not sharing their name, not sharing their address, but we're putting it in. And then when a match comes up, the system alerts the inside sales department and says, hey, that seller that called 3 months ago, you might have a match with agent so-and-so in the company. Well, agent so-and-so in our company doesn't find out. We keep that information confidential until you, the seller, say to our inside sales team, okay, sounds good. Go ahead and tell them if they think they have a buyer. And then we share it. But this is how we're able to link so many buyers and sellers without even listing homes for sale. Again, to get to that point, you've got to open up and you've got to be a little more trustworthy, because we're here for you. The last thing we want is a client to be homeless, okay? We don't want that to happen. One time last year, because of an error that was not ours, we had a client who had a mortgage issue from a mortgage lender that we didn't recommend, but they had a mortgage issue, and that client was potentially not going to be able to close on their home until over a weekend. We paid for everything. We paid for the moving costs. We paid. In the end, the client said, you really didn't need to do that. It wasn't your fault. We said, well, we don't. We're in the business of getting people and keeping people in homes. We're not in the business of getting people out of homes. And they were cool about it. One client, 2,000 sales, okay? Doesn't happen. But you have to open up to us, give us a chance, let our realtors go over it with you. So don't forget to log on to Wannabe Sellers. Geez, there's my Boston accent. WannabeSellers.com. Maybe we ought to buy that too, Lindsay. WannabeSellers.com. I'm not even joking. Want2besellers.com, and that will bring you to this page, and it will show you a whole bunch of videos. We put a blog out on it last week. Reach out to us. Reach out to our realtors. They are here to help you. If you're apprehensive about listing or apprehensive about reaching out to them, don't be apprehensive about reaching out, okay? They might talk to you. I'll give you an example. They might talk to you, find out the criteria of home you're looking for, and say, yeah, don't list yet. We got to wait until we find what you want. Because you might be looking at a neighborhood or for a type of home that's very rare that you only come across once or twice a year. That was me. My wife and I were that buyer 7, 8, 9 years ago. And we waited and waited and waited and waited and found the neighborhood we wanted. Okay? That could be you. If that's you, the realtor will tell you that. No one's going to push you into listing your home or selling your home. That's not what we're here for. So thank you all. I hope that makes sense. Dan Mahoney, I'm not running for governor, buddy, but thanks so much for the recommendation. See that? Brad Roberts. Brad's our attorney and trainer on staff. He said sellers are in the driver's seat. They control the closing and vacating the property. 100%. Too many sellers literally think when they call their realtor, the house just sells. I wish it was that easy. Or when they put their home up for sale, the house just sells. That's not how it goes. Okay? Thank you all. Thank you for tuning in.